Well, see, when you look at somebody like me, I grew up here. There's nothing you can tell me about Memphis that I don't already know.
There's nothing you can tell me about Memphis.
From the boardroom to the streets.
That I don't already know.
With Mike from Memphis, man. Together we can fix things. Really.
When you say, I want to be treated fairly, and I want a voice.
Yeah.
I want
He saw things weren't fair, so he chose to run for mayor. You get up and do something when you really care. It's Memphis 360.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
In the meantime,
It's Memphis 360.
In the meantime, in between time, we got folks shooting people up out the frame. Ain't nobody said a word. We've become accustomed to people dying in this city.
Yeah. It's Memphis 360.
Turning the TV on and the news and see our loved ones and see young people that are out of control. And now you see, okay. We talk about incarceration. We talk about the youth. We talk about giving them the ability. We talk about investing in young people and investing in the community. See, I hate ignorance. I hate when people make decisions about things and they make statements and they haven't done their research.
How can you fix the problem when you don't even know what the problem is?
We need some help in this city.
It's Memphis 360.
See, I hate ignorance.
It's Memphis 360. Man.
And good evening. We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Memphis 360. Come on in on Facebook. Come on in on YouTube. Come on in on Uverse. All of those other platforms. Because I hope that everything is going good in your lives, because right now I am feeling ecstatic because I have the pleasure of having the first female president of the Police Association in the city of Memphis, one of the largest police associations in the nation, and she just happened to be African American. This is an honor for me to be able to have Essica Littlejohn in the studio today in Memphis 360 because, as you know, I used to be a part of the Memphis Police Department. I am no longer a part of the Memphis Police Department, but I am still attached because my wife and my son are still on the Memphis Police Department. But we have Essica Littlejohn. Oh, I'm sorry, Essica Cage Rosario. I apologize. She's finna snap me up, y'all. Wait a minute, Dad. My name ain't. Hold up now. Okay, I'm supposed to be all official and stuff. I'm sorry. I can't help it though because Essica was the vice president of the Memphis Police Association during my tenure. I think you were the vice president for how many years?
8 years.
8 years. She was the vice president for 8 years. So that's why I am so excited today. And I am so thrilled that you have achieved another historic first. And that is to be the first female president of the Memphis Police Association. So welcome to Memphis 360.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I normally do a monologue, talk about crime. One of the things that happened today is we had 3 kids that were shot at a library, shot outside the library in Whitehaven. I was going to forego the monologue though because I wanted to spend that time talking to Essica, getting caught up, interviewing Essica, and all of that good stuff. So, first of all, tell the viewing audience a little bit about the first female president of, how does it feel to be the first female president of the Police Association?
It doesn't feel, too brand new because I was there for so long
Okay.
as vice president. But it was a role to come into and to get adjusted to. There was an adjustment period, and the pandemic didn't help that.
Right.
We're still trying to, get comfortable in our roles over there. We're making some good strides. It's been a roller coaster, but
Right.
we've been doing good.
Okay.
Yep.
So tell the viewing audience a little bit about you. Where are you from? What have you done? How did you get what's the road, to young ladies that are out there, because you are a role model.
Absolutely.
You're a role model in that you have achieved that historic status of being the first female president of the Memphis Police Association that happens to be an African American. For young ladies that are out there looking at you, what do they have to do to achieve something like that?
So you said tell a little bit about me. I am originally from Memphis. I've lived in Memphis my entire life. I graduated from Whitehaven High School, and I joined the police department as a 18-year-old PST. At that time, they were sending us to school. They were paying for college 100%, and it fit what I needed. I needed a job, and I wanted to go to college.
Wow. Okay.
So I joined the police department, and I worked out at South Precinct. It's now Rain Station. I worked out there for 9 years. And eventually I got involved with the police association through contract negotiations.
Right.
Started being on those negotiation teams and getting more active just because I wanted to be a part of the process. It's easy to sit at the precinct and talk about what you're not getting, what we should have, but I wanted to be a part of the process. So that's how I started working at the MPA. I didn't hold an elected position at that time, but every time contract negotiations would come up, I volunteered to serve on those committees. And at some point, the position became available for vice president. I ran for that spot, and the membership elected me to be the vice president.
Right.
That's it.
Some people say, you were shown favor or what have you. Like a lot of times people said, I was shown favor. But the road to becoming the president of the Memphis Police Association was not an easy road for you.
Oh no, not at all.
I know you kind of skimmed over your story, okay? She got skimmed over her story because I kind of know the story, and there's a whole lot of background in there as well. You say you came from South Memphis, at an early age, you decided to be a PST, which, they still have that program that helps young people.
Absolutely, one of the best programs the department has to offer.
And a lot of people don't know about it and don't really take advantage of it. But I think they have a couple of other little things in place right now. And, it helped you to become a PST. It helped you you use the system.
Absolutely.
The system that was available for you. Because I also know since you've been on the police department, you went to college too.
I did. So when I joined the police department, I was a mother. I had a 2-year-old son.
Okay.
So I've always had to work and go to school.
Were you married at the time?
I was not. I was 18 years old.
Okay. And I'm not trying to put your business out there.
No, that's fine.
But I want young ladies,
right, absolutely.
Because we have so many young ladies that they become mothers at an early age. And they kind of drop off.
Absolutely.
But I just want them to know that if they keep persevering, then they have the ability to achieve. That's why I wanted you to get into your story a little bit, but go ahead.
Right, no, I wasn't married. I was a teenage mother. I graduated from high school a year early so that I could get busy working and going to school because I knew that I needed a job to take care of my son, but I also knew that I wanted to go to college. And the department in the city of Memphis afforded me that opportunity. So I was able to go and get what I needed to be a police officer. After I became a police officer, I went back to school and got my bachelor's degree. After I got my bachelor's degree, I went back to school and got my master's degree. And I got both of those from Christian Brothers University. The city of Memphis, it was a blessing because, like you said, there were certain things in place that allowed people to go to school. I didn't pay a dime for my education, and I got a good quality college education, and it's a part of the reason why I decided to stay and continue my career with the Memphis Police
All
Department.
right. Rhodes College is a distinguished university around the world, not just here in the city of Memphis. A lot of people come from all over to go to Rhodes for its academics. So that was a great achievement within itself. And then you became the president of the Memphis Police Association. So how has that been? Jesus, I'm going to tell you, it was a headache when I was over there. So
I wouldn't say it's a headache, but it's a heavy load to carry.
Yeah.
I will say that. I get involved because I care about the members, as you know. We always trying to come up with ways to make sure, we represent the officers the right way. And because officers are just regular people. I don't know, people feel like police officers are robots or, I don't know, made on a factory somewhere. But we're just regular old folks with regular old people problems. So, just doing my best to try to represent those officers. But it is a heavy load, especially with the year we've had. We've lost a lot of officers in the line of duty. We've lost a lot of officers to illness and sickness. So it's been a year.
Right. The number to call is 244-6874, 244-6874. We have Essica Cage Rosario in the studio today, and she is the first female president of the Memphis Police Association, representing approximately 1,900 plus police officers in the city of Memphis, one of the largest police association in the United States. I believe it's like in the top 25 or something like that, as far as on the scale of being the largest. And she is representing that association well. So I know I've been gone from the police association probably about 17 months. We were just talking about I've been in my other job 17 months. And in those 17 months, I know you guys have made some major strides and did some wonderful things. Can you tell us some of the things that you have, initiative that you and your team, your executive board, has brought forth for the officers of the Police Association? So
you're right. We, as you know, we had a long stretch where our benefits were taken, and we weren't getting raises. And I've been lucky enough just to be the president during this time. Okay. Because we had a negotiation team last year that did a really good job in getting us a raise. They also got us a raise in college incentive pay, CIT pay. So officers were able to get, raises here and there on top of the overall raise that we got. And as a result of the sales tax referendum that the citizens of the city of Memphis voted for, we were able to get a 9% bonus last year. And that will go to affect our pension. It's pensionable. So it was an all-around good year when it comes to benefits and what we were able to get for our officers. And like I said, that sales tax referendum, I can't emphasize enough how beneficial it has been, not only for police and fire, but it's generating so much money that every child in Memphis will be afforded the opportunity to go to pre-K, and it's funded by this referendum.
That's correct.
So if it weren't for the citizens of this city who voted for that, they supported us. I want the citizens to know that we're going to make good on what we said that money was going to go to. And it's going to pre-K, and it's going to street maintenance and equipment to repave these streets. And so it's doing exactly what we wanted it to do. Well, and one of the things, because I was there when the referendum was put forth to the citizens of the city, and one of the things that I know the Police Association and its members said that they would do, because the citizens were afraid that the money would be utilized in a way that the citizens had not deemed that and voted that it be utilized for. And I know for a fact when I was there, and I see, because I keep watching, that you guys are definitely holding the city's feet to the fire and only allowing them to utilize that money for
what the citizens designated that it be used for.
Absolutely, and I have to give Mayor Strickland credit that they have been just as adamant as us, the associations, in making sure that the language that the voters voted on is what they're going by. What it also has done is free up money in the city budget for them to do other things.
Right.
So they're not so interested in trying to get their hands on that money, because the referendum has freed up other money that they can still take care of their projects. But it's been going well so far. I can't complain.
So about how much money did that referendum generate last year? You know,
Over $50 million.
$50 million. Woo! And I know the year before that it generated a nice lump sum as well.
It's exceeded all the projected, whatever they project, it exceeds it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, because people still got to spend money.
They
So
still spend money.
anything they spend money on is going to
Absolutely.
contribute to that referendum. So let's talk about the new police chief,
Okay.
just from your perspective. Let's talk about the new police chief. I will tell you that during my tenure, worked really well with Director Armstrong. We had some bumps in the road, not because of what he did, when he threatened to put me back in the car.
Me too.
Me and Esca, y'all going back to the car, because we were so rebellious. We weren't rebellious, we were just fighting for what we believed in.
That's right.
But we worked really well with Mike Rollins as well, Director Rollins, and now Chief C.J. Davis, who is one of the first, I think she's only the second chief that has been brought from outside. They did one back in the 80s, I think, or something, 80s or the 90s or something like that. I think it was 80, but they brought one in back then. So her coming in from the outside, how is she working with the police association?
She works very well with us.
Okay.
She has a fresh perspective,
Okay.
and sometimes that's all it takes.
Right, right.
You know, you've been doing something a certain way for so long. It just takes somebody to come in who hadn't been doing that thing for that long to give us a fresh perspective. She has a whole lot of good ideas. She includes the MPA on her planning and how she wants to do things. They call us and ask our advice on how we think things should go.
Good.
Something else she does is when she's considering making a change on the police department, she's putting out surveys and letting officers make decisions or pick, whichever. For example, a car design, a patch design. She's putting out surveys and allowing the officers to select which one they prefer, which is not something that we've always done, Mike.
That's true.
So, I think she's trying to, and she understands that the boots on the ground, answering calls for services is the number one priority for the Memphis Police Department, and she's trying to incorporate some things to let officers know that and to give them some more opportunities on the department.
Okay. I know officers are a little disgruntled, and I don't know the ratio, but I know I got a lot of phone calls or inboxes and different things like that. I want to ask you, in regards to I know she wants to, or they're looking at possibly doing a shift change. So how is that going?
So initially it wasn't going well.
Okay.
Because of the projected time that she wanted to put on making these changes. When you're talking about deleting a shift, you have to give officers time to process that information. You have to give officers time to make adjustments in their lives. When you're talking about child care and your family home situation, some officers work other jobs. So this is a major change, deleting a shift. But we were able to get the administration to agree to wait months before making that change.
Right.
It gives officers time to process it and to make arrangements in their lives so that this will work. But I don't think the department had any other option because our numbers are so low. They had to do something. You have officers who were working mandatory overtime every night.
Wow.
Working double shifts, and you can't keep doing that. We can't run the department that way. You're gonna burn these officers out, and you're gonna run them off, and that's exactly what's been happening.
Right,
So,
and recruitment, even though a lot of we looked internally and we looked at during even the time that I was there that the numbers were very low, but the numbers are low all over the country.
Absolutely.
It is just getting hard to recruit police officers, period. So it's not just a problem that's relegated to the Memphis Police Department. That is a problem that is happening all over the country.
Yes, that is correct.
The number to call is 244-6874, 244-6874, and I can't believe you guys are out there. I see you looking. What's up, Clerk Kuhn? What's up, Brandon Evans? What's up, Herschel Crosby? What's going on, Briggs? And I saw Renee on there. I see everybody out there looking. We have the president of the Memphis Police Association, the first female president of the Memphis Police Association that has made history. You know, Memphis is a history-making city. I don't care what nobody say. We got so many good things going on here in the city. I know we got our crime. I know we got our problems. And we got Tyler over there making faces, but that's okay. Tyler is Essica's son and my partner. But the number to call is 244-901-244-6874. 901-244-6874. We got Essica Littlejohn. Oh God, I keep saying Essica Littlejohn, and I am so sorry. Was that why he was laughing? Did I say that? Okay, I am so sorry. We have Essica Cage Rosario. Why you didn't tell me, Tyler? Essica Cage Rosario, and I apologize, Mike. It's out of habit. I'm just so used to calling her name and all of that. So. The officers were having problems in regards to the Delta shift, and evidently you guys have somewhat got that worked out. The other issue was they're talking about changing the rank structure.
Right.
So what are they talking about changing with the rank structure?
So as you know, Mike, we have two ranks at the bottom. We have patrol officers and sergeants.
Okay.
And above that is management. Mm-hmm. And there's 7 ranks above the rank of sergeant.
Top heavy.
It's too top heavy.
Top heavy.
And Chief Davis agreed. That's what she says. She was like, we need to have more opportunities in between those ranks at the bottom, mm-hmm. And maybe eliminate one at the top.
Okay.
So she has proposed an idea to us that she's still working on to create a senior patrol officer rank and a supervisory sergeant rank. She's not going to reclassify any of the current ranks. So if you are a sergeant, you'll remain a sergeant.
Woo, thank you, Jesus, Chief Davis.
Tell me about it.
Thank you, G. You listening, lady? I don't mean to call you lady like that, but you're listening.
And I will say this too, because that wasn't their original idea.
Okay.
But when we made that suggestion and told them that would be
that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a major problem. Yeah.
She received that information, and she said, "Listen, I'm not going to let that kill what I'm trying to do."
Okay.
So and that just goes back to the point, Mike, of her working with us.
Wow.
And I can't say anything bad at this point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she wants to create some more opportunities for officers at the bottom, which I appreciate, and I'm pretty sure these officers in the field would appreciate too. It's not something that they will have to do unless they want to, but it will be actual ranks and not just pay grades. Mm-hmm. So we're all for it. I wanted to make sure that everybody that these new ranks will still be in the bargaining unit, and they will.
Okay.
And so I don't see any problems at this point.
Wow, y'all working it out over there. Working it out. And that, I'm so glad to hear this. I am so glad to hear this because I really believed, I knew for a fact if Chief Davis came in here and she did not get with the police association, she was going to have some major issues. She wouldn't have survived. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. And I am definitely looking forward to possibly trying to get her to come on my little humble show one of these days. She had already said that she would. I just got to get in contact with her, and I didn't want to get her right off the bat. I wanted her to get in, get her feet wet, see what was going on, and she has definitely been baptized here in the city of Memphis.
Oh, yes.
I saw just recently on TV where there was family members of homicide suspects out there in Orange Mound. And, they were upset because I guess she was scheduled to come to that meeting but did not come to that meeting. And then it was eventually put out after that she had got in touch with the organizers of that particular event and told them that she would not be able to make it. But I would hope that under whatever circumstances that Chief Davis reaches out to those individuals and definitely try to put something together. And I think I heard that there's something in the works to whereas they're going to either dedicate some detectives or whatever, or they're going to make a more conscious effort to be able to inform those individuals that their family members were victims of homicides in this city, because they were saying that they were just having a problem getting information, you know.
Right.
And you know, and I know, just me personally, that the homicide unit for the Memphis Police Department was overworked. And you know, they're running from homicide to homicide to homicide to homicide. And I'm not trying to make any excuses for anybody. And people, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses. I just tell you the way it is.
Right.
And a lot of times, I know while I was there, those guys were just being overwhelmed because there were so many homicides.
I will say that they have increased the staffing in homicide, but we just also came off a record year.
Wow.
And so even though we are increasing the staffing, we're increasing the workload for them too. And I understand that the families of these victims want answers. They deserve answers.
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
And we got to do what we can as a department to try to make sure it's properly staffed, even more if we need, to try and manage these homicides we're having.
The number to call is 244-6874. I can't believe I have not gotten one call. My phone was blowing up with officers talking to me in my inbox. And now I have Jessica Rosario, Cage Rosario, on the stage with me. And this would be the time to ask the questions if you had questions, or if any citizen out there has a question in regards to the police association. I know you were never afraid to ask me questions. Every show I go on, the phone blew up and y'all wanted to ask me all kinds of stuff, and I answered it. I don't care. And I know that Jessica is exactly the same way. She's a very intelligent young lady. She's articulate, and she has a grasp of what's going on the police department, within the police department, and also she is the one that is running the Memphis Police Association in conjunction with her executive board. I always throw that executive board in there because that's a very important piece, because a lot of people always think, you know, the president is the one that's calling the shots. In reality, you have a executive board that's actually helping, that's actually making the decisions, and then you carry the decisions out based upon information you provide to them and different things like that. So, so how is Matt and John and Ladoris and Randy?
Everybody's doing well. Like I said, the guys are adjusting well to the new roles that they've come into. The ladies at the office, they're the ones who really run our office. They make our office run. They're doing well. Dejan is there, and so we get to see little Haley every now and then, and Randy is expecting.
I got to come see Randy.
You have to come see Randy.
I got to come see Randy.
And Ladoris too. Ladoris is doing well. So everybody is good. We were blessed that we were able to come out of this pandemic and everybody is okay. We didn't suffer any losses at our office, and we've been able to manage this pandemic pretty good.
Yeah, and I was going to say Dejan and Jeremy. I left them out. I don't want to leave anybody out because they were definitely a good part and a big part of what was going on when I was down there as well. So that's a good thing. So what's next on the horizon? Let's talk about crime, man. Jesus, what do you think about this crime?
I don't know what we're going to have to do, Mike. I don't know. It's, like I said, it's not just a Memphis thing. You look at national trends and crime is up all over the country. Right. But when you look at per capita and what's going on here in Memphis, it is mind-boggling with the violent crime and the way it's up, with the traffic and how people are driving, and even our traffic fatalities are up. So we talk about homicides and officers investigating homicides. Our traffic unit has seen so many accidents this year, fatalities and criticals, that we need to increase the staffing in that bureau as well. So I don't know what to say about this crime. I don't know what we're going to have to do as a department to get a handle on it. I know Chief Davis has come up with a few initiatives that she's made public and they've talked about. Today they announced that they're going to bring in the highway patrol to help with the interstates.
Look, I saw them all over the place today.
20.
I saw, man, I got on over at around, what was that, Union and 240 on the west side. I drove down, and the next thing I see a highway patrolman. I come around the loop, I see a highway patrolman. I come down the loop a little bit, I see a highway patrolman. I was like, Jesus, but I had heard about the initiative. The governor was going to be here today in the city of Memphis, and he was going to announce that there was going to be individuals, the state was going to fund 20 state patrol officers, and they would be around here patrolling the city. And they were posting up looking like the bear.
And see,
they were posted up looking like the bear. And traffic was like,
I'm telling you, these citizens going to appreciate the Memphis Police Department after dealing with the highway patrol.
Man, them folk I was like, man, move, get out of the way. Because, the highway patrol was on it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were out there, they were posted up in those SUVs, looking like Tennessee State Troopers too, big dudes. So, yeah. So what's next for the Police Association? Where are you guys going? What are you trying to do to help the police officers out, and also, a lot of people don't know it, but part of our Constitution was to actually help the police department to be able to protect, defend, all of that, good services to the citizens of the city of Memphis. So, what do you guys have on the drawing board?
So it's a busy time at the MPA. It's negotiations time.
Oh, wow. Again?
Yeah, again.
Already. So are you guys getting year-to-year contract? Are you doing 2-year contracts, 3-year contracts?
So for the past several years, we've only had a 1-year contract.
Okay.
This year, we're going to ask for a 2-year contract because Fire was able to get a 2-year contract last year.
Okay.
Right now we're into negotiations. We're just getting started. We got about a month before the deadline, so we're going to be busy with that. We're working with the Crime Commission. I have a seat on the Crime Commission, so
wow.
I'm a board member there. So the crime plan has just been put out, 5-year plan. So we're involved in that. We're involved in the residency issue and trying to get residency changed so that the city can recruit more police officers. We're just involved in a lot of things. We also are involved with officer wellness and trying to make sure that these officers are taken care of mentally.
Right.
We do all the physical things. They go to the doctor, they get incentives for, doing so many things with physical wellness, but we got to make sure we're taking care of their mental wellness as well. Because they're seeing, we just talked about crime, these officers are seeing so much stuff out there on those streets, and they're expected to just recover and go to the next call like they didn't just see what they saw. And so we're trying to normalize officers, reaching out to go get some counseling, or take their family to go get some counseling. And I think we're turning the corner on that. Officers are starting to trust a little bit more and to reach out and seek that help. So we got all kinds of stuff going on right now.
And I don't think a lot of citizens realize how much that not only does it affect them on the police department, but it affects them when they go home to their families.
Absolutely.
You got individuals, for instance, I was just telling you had 3 kids that were shot outside of a library in Whitehaven. Can you imagine the officers pulling up on the scene? First of all, you better believe it's a very chaotic scene. And then you get there and you see children that are shot, young people that are shot. All kinds of things go through your head. You don't want the kids to die. You got to perform first aid. You got to get them medical attention. You don't know if the shooter is still on the scene. You don't know if they're still in the vicinity. You don't know why this happened. You don't know what's going on. So you have to get on the scene and you have to process all of this stuff. And then you got blood probably everywhere because, when you're talking about individuals being shot, that's a lot of trauma to the body. So you got blood, you got children, and then you got screaming people probably all over the place because they're concerned about those young people. And this is a scene that, because to my knowledge, no one has died. that I've heard about. I heard about young people being transported to, I believe, to either to Labana or to the Med in critical condition, but they haven't reported prior to me getting here that anybody had died. So let's say they get on the scene and you have 3, 4, 5 children shot, and some of them have succumbed to their injuries, and you relate that to your kids and all of that. So you got to internalize and process and and while you're actually working the scenes, your endorphins kicked in, so you're kind of running on auto and you're doing what you do. But then it stops.
Yep.
And you sit down and you go, wow, what just happened? And guess what? Now the daggone, you get another call. Yep. It's another shooting, and you're running to that shooting, and now you got to go and deal with that as well. So that's just a lot for individuals to process. The number to call is 244-6874, and I can't believe, see, y'all watching me, I see you. And to my TV audience, we're also live on Facebook over here, and I see my Facebook people looking in, but they won't give me a call. We have Essica Cage Rosario in the studio, who is the first female president of the Memphis Police Association, represent approximately 1,900 police officers in the city of Memphis. And good evening, sir. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Williams. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. My name is John.
Okay, John.
For the president there.
Okay.
She's had a lot of successes in her time as president, and I was interested to see the one she's most proud of.
Oh. So what is your most proudest accomplishment? What are you the most proudest of?
I would have to say the wellness piece.
Okay.
The work that committee is doing, we get a lot of help from Lynette Hall Lewis, who is...
she was good.
Yeah, she's still good.
She's good. Well,
she's still good.
I say was because when I was there,
absolutely,
she was good.
she's still just as dedicated to her position. She is really concerned about the officers' mental wellness. But the work that the committee has done, the things that they put in place, they have an app where officers can log into an app. They can pick their own therapist. They get 10 free visits. They can take their family. And that's really important, because if you don't take care of the inside, it doesn't matter what you can do on the outside, it's not going to come across right.
Right.
And so I think, the wellness piece is something that I'm proud to be a part of. And here soon we're going to have a wellness unit on this department, and not all departments in this country have a wellness unit. And so we've kind of been serving at the MPA as the defunct wellness unit. When officers need something, they call us.
Yeah.
But we've been doing so much work. We actually got some grant money. The department is going to hire a psychologist, and we're going to actually put a wellness unit in place.
Like a lot of the other big departments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have their own wellness unit which attends to the psychological issues that occur, because on most police departments you have a high alcoholism rate, you have a high drug substance abuse rate, you have a high suicide rate, because of all of the trauma that individuals internalize. And in the past, it was not accepted that you have issues or that you talk to somebody, because a lot of people thought that would interfere in their career, or they take them out of the streets and different things like that. But because of everything that's going on now, and because of them being exposed so much, you got to put something in place that's going to at least give them the ability to release.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? As opposed to they're storing it up, and then they explode like a lot of people did in the past. They need somebody that they can release to, like a release valve on a pressure tank or whatever, and release some of that pressure so that they can continue to do what they do, because we have a lot of good officers that mean well, but you also have officers that don't know how to handle some of that pressure, and they internalize it too much. Okay, John, what else? What else you got, John?
Well, no, I just wanted to say she's done a hell of a job as president. You did a hell of a job when you were there. And I want to thank both of you for being such examples and leaders in this community, and for all your good works. And the city is a better place because of both of you. And that's just, I wanted to leave it there and just say thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
John.
And I'm not going to let John just get off that easy. John is actually an individual. He's a police officer, and he has been on the police department for a while. And John has done some amazing things since he has been on the department. John was the individual that we put in charge of the restoration of the benefits for the retirees. And John kind of led that initiative. We had a whole lot of officers working on it, don't get me wrong. We had a whole lot of officers working on it, but John was the one that we said, hey, look, take this, run with it, whatever you need, let us know, we'll get it for you. And he kind of drove that home. So when we talk about the $50 million a year, first of all, thank you so much to the citizens of the city of Memphis that voted that in, because they cared about the officers and their well-being and their families. But it was because of young people like John Covington that worked diligently to try to get that put in place. He worked with Hicks. Was it Hicks? What was that company we hired?
Oh, out of Texas.
Yeah, I think it was Hicks.
Yeah.
He worked with Hicks, whatever, and Lawrence Johnson, believe it or not, who was very instrumental in being out there in the streets and doing things to ensure that that happened. Oh, Lord. John. Say what now?
I said I didn't know you were going to talk so nice about me, but I did want to say one thing to the listeners. I got to serve under you, Mike.
Oh, Lord.
I've since got to serve under ESCA. And I will say, as somebody who's been on the inside, seeing really two talented people, two different styles of leadership, or
Right.
a lot of.
Oh, you there, John?
Hello? I think my phone cut off. Anyway, thank you so much, John, for your accolades and different things like that. Really appreciate it. But I'm going to tell you, you got Matt Cunningham down there that's doing an outstanding job. He is the vice president. You got Jeremy White down there who's doing a marvelous job at the Police Association, who is now the secretary treasurer. And then you have an excellent, well, John was the chief steward. Mm-hmm. He's the chief steward. And then you have an excellent civilian staff down there, whereas you got Randy, who just makes it all happen. And you have the Memphis Police Association Charitable Foundation, and I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. Okay. But Randy kind of runs the Charitable Foundation and makes sure all of that stuff happens, the golf tournament, the 5K, the this, the that, dialing for dollars or whatever it is that they got going on now. On all of those things that all of the police officers love, like the Christmas party. Woo, Lord Jesus, y'all had it this year. Well, last year. Yeah. And they were so glad. And then I see, because I've been getting a little notification, I can't wait for the family picnic. Yep. I already got my invitation to the Christmas party. I'm going to be there, because I'm just going to be there as a participant. And when you talk about Ladoris, who has been there for a long time, historical knowledge, she was there before. She got there, I believe, one of the first times either I did the negotiations back in the early 2000s, or she was just now getting down there when I was just a representative at the precinct, one of the two. But that just goes to show you how long ago that was, and she's been there for that long. And Dejan, who is fairly new, has been there about 2 years now, I believe, 2 or 3 years, and hopefully she's going to be the future of the MPA, right out of college, doing a lot of good stuff down there as well. So the number to call is 244-6874, 244-6874. We have Essica Cage Rosario in the studio, the first female president of the Memphis Police Association, doing great and wonderful things here in the city of Memphis. The president of, and I didn't learn this until they actually got me on national TV, one of the largest, I believe the top 25 largest police associations in the United States. In the United States. Do you feel as though you have an obligation to all those young people that's looking at you?
An obligation to do what?
Be a role model or
I just hope that by me doing the right thing,
Okay.
Representing my people the right way, not defending wrong, but still representing these officers and making sure their rights are protected.
Okay.
Just by doing the right thing, hopefully that's an example for somebody.
I love what you just said in that, not protecting officers in their wrong. And that's something that I am also in agreement with. And I'm glad that you have that philosophy because, I am a citizen of Memphis. My family is from Memphis. They're here. I would never want anybody to treat my family members not like they want to treat themselves. I saw something that was on the TV the other day in regards to an officer. They were in an apartment complex, and I guess the guy was holding the girl's keys, and the police ended up, and I'm not going to call the names, but the police ended up asking the guy to leave. Look, give her keys, leave. Give her keys, leave. And the guy wouldn't do it. And eventually the guy took off running. I think they tased the guy. And then they showed the police actually hitting the guy with the baton. I think they said one of the police officers resigned, and there's still one of the police officers on the police department. Now, I will say that I have always been a proponent, being a representative of the police association, you represent the police. That's your job. You represent the police. Don't necessarily mean you agree with what's going on a lot of the times, but you represent the police. And don't hate me if I do it well or if it's done well. But at the same token, I always tell the story. I probably asked, and I was there longer because I was the president for a long time, I probably asked more officers to resign. Mm-hmm. And not because they had just really did something bad, but I asked them to resign because I could see where it was going.
Right.
Leave with your dignity. Leave while you still have the ability to get another job. And I want to tell officers out there, the police department or being a police officer is not the be-all, see-all, do-all. There are other careers out here, and I'm seeing officers. I saw something the other day where officers were chiming in about, and these are officers not necessarily retired from the police department, but officers that had stepped out on faith because they may have seen that, this ain't what I want to do.
Right.
Or this is just too stressful for me. Or I can't handle this because I know some police officers, they just ain't cut out to be police officers. Mm-hmm. So they leave and they go do other things, but because of their intelligence, because of their education, because of their exposure, a lot of them are flourishing and doing really well. So I just want to encourage some of you police officers that don't think you haven't made up your mind yet, or I knew I needed to get out the car because I got, Lord Jesus, I couldn't see no more. The red light would come on in the car at night, and I'm trying to write, and I can't see. And it was time to go. It was time to get out. Still working on Beale Street, though. So tell us a little bit about the Charitable Foundation. I know you guys do a lot of good things in the community.
We do, and a lot of things we do, we're not able to, broadcast and publicize because we want to protect the integrity and protect, people's, privacy. But we do a lot for police officers. We created that foundation to be able to help officers in need. So you have an officer whose house burns down, or you have an officer who's killed in the line of duty. We go out and we collect funds to raise money for their surviving family members. And since we've started that, Mike, we've raised well over $1 million for these families. So that's the type of thing that the CF does, the Charitable Foundation. We also help officers who have nonprofits and they're doing things in the community. So we act as a support system for them. And then sometimes people will come to us and say, hey, this track team wants to compete out of town. Can you help send these kids out of town? We do a lot of that type of thing.
Right.
We've done backpacks. We have recently reached out. We partnered with the Hispanic organization, and we gave out hundreds of backpacks when school started. We gave out vaccines so the kids could go to school. We do that type of thing through the foundation. So it's it's really doing what it was intended to do. We're doing good work, not only for officers on the department, but the community as a whole.
And that's what it was designed for, when it was originally put together, was to be able to assist officers, but at the same time, knowing that you had a obligation to help out in the community, especially those officers in some of those communities that they police in. And a lot of people, and the other reason it was brought forth was because a lot of officers were coming out of their pockets. I've seen officers Christmas time go buy toys for a family. Absolutely. Or buy bicycles for kids. So wanted to take some of that off of them, but it didn't, because those precincts are still doing their thing in their precincts. I see Robert Lee out there saying Robert Lee used to be a police officer. He said he put down the uniform and now he's handling a knife as a chef. Oh. So he's a chef. He's out there doing good things. And Robert does a lot of good things out there. I know he has podcasts and different things like that, and always a lot of positive, trying to inform and educate young people and older people in the community. Number one, what's going on. Number two, in different relationships, or how to handle themselves, or how to get ahead, or how to be positive and to do things that are going to be beneficial to you in the community. So I salute Robert Lee and all of the things that he is doing as well. So what does the Police Association Charitable Foundation have planned? Y'all got anything coming up?
So no, we're not doing the race this year.
Oh, man.
But we do have the family picnic coming up.
Okay.
We talked today about, one board member brought the idea and said that the guys at the Union Mission needed socks and underclothes. So
okay. And what's the Union Mission?
The Union Mission is where homeless people will go and spend the night, get a hot meal. But they also have a need for, socks. It's things that we don't even think about.
We take for granted.
We take for granted.
Right.
And so the department now has a requirement from Post that all officers have to do a certain amount of community service. Oh. So you're going to see Memphis police officers at all these organizations putting in at least 4 hours of community service, which I think is a great thing.
Right.
So today we talked about doing it at the Union Mission.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the good thing about that as well is you and I come from the inner city. Mm-hmm. So all of this is not new to us. Right. We've been around this. But you have some individuals that come from rural areas, or they come from outside of the city of Memphis. And I think it's a good thing that they do a community service. That's just Mike Williams, because I was always out there trying to do something anyway. But I think it's a good thing that it becomes a requirement, because Post, in order for you to get your your little check, I think that's just part of that requirement, right?
That's Post.
Okay. Okay. So in order for them to get their little bonus checks, they have to go into the community. But the good thing about that is they get to get out of the car, and they have to go and deal with individuals on a level that hopefully it'll build community relations. Hopefully it'll ease some of the citizens' minds when it comes to police officers. But it also allows some of those police officers that have not really dealt with the community in a way other than they're getting a call and some violence is happening, that they can look at it from another perspective and hopefully see that these people out here in the city, I'm telling you, it's good people out here in this city. It's people, living in Orange Mound, Castelia, Whitehaven, Westwood, Fraser, Raleigh, out there in the Bay Area. I don't care what they call it, they're good people in all of those communities. Individuals that are trying to live and trying to make the best living that they can for their families on a daily basis, and just do what's right. You're a lieutenant now.
I am.
Look, congratulations.
Thank you.
She became a sergeant while she was at the Police Association. She also became a lieutenant while she was at the Police Association. So when I was there, you could not be a lieutenant at the Police Association. Larry Godwin wasn't having it. Ooh, Lord, he gave people the blues about that. Prior to Larry Godwin, you could, but when Larry Godwin got there, he stopped all of that. And now you are a lieutenant at the Police Association. So Can you run again?
No, I can't run again.
Okay.
So the policy was changed so that if you are promoted to the rank of lieutenant, you are allowed to complete your term.
Okay.
But you can't run again.
Okay. And how much longer do you have on this term?
Not the end of this year, but the end of next year.
Okay. Oh, so the election is going to be 2023.
Yeah.
I think that coincides with the city election too.
It does.
Coincides with the city election. I'll be running for mayor. No, I'm just kidding. Mike Williams is not running for mayor. I just threw that out there because a lot of people keep asking me, am I going to run for mayor? No, I am not going to run for mayor. I'm going to do something though, but I'm not going to run for mayor. So what you had your druthers, where do you want to go in the Memphis Police Department? Where is your interest? What do you want to do? How do you think you can be most effectively utilized?
I think that, and that's exactly, it's funny that you worded it that way, because when, when it was coming time up for me to get promoted, that's the question I was asked, where do you want to go and what do you want to do? And that was my response. Wherever they feel like, and I say they, the chiefs and the director at the time, wherever they felt like I could be best served, and I can be the most benefit to the officers on this department, whether that be uniform patrol. I have learned that my strength is administration. I know policy. I know that MOU.
Right.
And I think that that I can serve the department to make sure, number one, they're doing things the right way, and that the officers receive whatever benefit and whatever right they have that's granted in the MOU. So I think some type of administrative job is my strength, but I'm willing to get out there and
hump them calls.
get the calls, because I was ready. That's what I was expecting when I got promoted. I had one simple request of the chief when I thought I was going to have to get out there on those streets, but it's good work out there at those precincts.
It
too.
was day shift, y'all. I can tell you
that wasn't the request. I didn't want a certain precinct.
It was day shift. Oh, you didn't want a certain precinct.
I didn't want a certain precinct.
Oh, Lord. I know which one. No, I'm just kidding.
Like I said, there's good work at the precinct because you can actually influence those officers and work with them. And I was looking forward to doing that. So I may still get that opportunity soon.
I think you'd be better in the field.
Yeah, I think so too.
Don't get me wrong. The good part is I think you're a good administrator. I think you can definitely serve the chiefs or the chief's administration well by making sure they're in compliance and doing different things like that. But I also think that we need good leaders out there in the field.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of y'all are not good leaders out there in the field. I didn't think it then, and I don't think it now. If I'm on your street, you know who I'm talking about. Now, I will tell you, there are a lot of good leaders on the Memphis Police Department, but I also have always felt that there needed to be an abundance of good leaders out there, because a lot of times the men in uniform patrol are a reflection of the leadership that they have. And that's why I think you would be such a good leader, because you care about people. You care about the citizens. You're from the city of Memphis. You're about policy and procedure, but at the same time, sometimes you got to deal with some stuff. So, you get at that what you got to get at, but at the same time, be courteous to people. These people are taxpayers. They're the ones that live in these areas. There are a lot of good people out here. Everybody's not a criminal or a crook or a drug addict or a thief or what have you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you have to have somebody who has the ability to discern or the ability to just even acknowledge the fact that that's the way it is, as opposed to having blinders on. Everybody's a crook. Everybody's a thief.
Right.
Everybody's a drug addict. Anytime we come in contact with anybody with the police, we're going to get at them. That's going to be it. We're going to go home. No. That's, for me, that's why we have a lot of problems when it comes to relations with the community, and especially being that I am one of those individuals in the community now, but I felt like that on the police department too, so it's going to be okay. So if you had the ability to go to a specific unit or to do something how high do you want to go in the police department?
My time is coming to an end.
Whatever.
My time is coming to an end.
Really?
I'm approaching my 25-year mark, and retirement may be, Sooner than I would have expected.
Okay.
I plan to finish out my term at the MPA and then see what happens next.
I know you've been offered some jobs.
I have.
What kind of jobs you been offered? I'm just asking. You got to ask if you don't want to. I'm just asking.
I was offered chief of police position at a small police department in this area.
Yeah. Look at that. Not only they wanted to make her the first chief of police of whatever police department. I ain't gonna say what it is. I know what it is. I'm not gonna say what it is, but chief of police. But you know what? It's just a good thing to have options.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing to have options, and that's why I continuously say to the police officers, there are other things that you can do outside being a police. I was having a conversation with my wife the other day because I am appointed in the current position that I am, and I always say Clerk Brown could wake up tomorrow and say, Mike Williams, I don't need you anymore. Right. And now I'm out here like, wow, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to get the VA to send me back to school. That's one thing I'm going to do. And I'm like, man, I'm going to go stand at Walmart and be a greeter. Hello, welcome to Walmart. How are you doing? I don't want after this, I ain't through yet, but I don't want anything too stressful, to be perfectly honest. I don't want anything too stressful. I think I still have a lot of use left in me. I still have a lot of love for the city of Memphis and my community, and I think that there are a lot of things that needs to be fixed. So if you retire, what are some of the things that you would like to do?
I would like to be able to work a little bit in my, the backgrounds where I have a degree in.
Okay.
I'd like to explore some of that type of work. I don't think I necessarily want to have another law enforcement job. Okay. Because like you said, you want to cut down on some of that stress.
Right.
And law enforcement is stressful. So, I want to look at, some of those types of careers. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first retired, I want to just sit down for a minute.
Man, I didn't get that luxury.
Yeah, that was by choice.
Yeah, it was. It was by choice. It was by choice. So you say you want to sit down for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were recently married. Not recently, but
about a year and a half
you're still a newlywed.
Yeah.
How is that? How is that?
It's good.
How is Michael?
Michael is well.
His name's Michael as well. So how is Michael doing?
He's doing well.
Okay, yeah, he's doing well, and congratulations to Mike Rosario as well. He was promoted to major. So and very intelligent guy. Woo, Lord Jesus, sometimes too intelligent. Got it going on, flying planes and all kinds of stuff, but. Mike has been doing really, really well on the police department. He is now a major and doing good things, have always been in the mix. He's another one of those guys who is a good leader out there in the community, trying to ensure that things are being done the right way, the proper way. And I'm sure that, I know he has definitely been an asset to the Memphis Police Department as well. I want to thank you, Essica, for coming on to Memphis 360. This is a show that is dedicated to going from the boardroom to the streets. We are firm believers that you have to be able to talk to mayors and city council people and county commissioners. We had Clerk Heidi Kuhn on here, Commissioner Eddie Jones on here. We've had Clerk Halbert, and I'm going to have some other county commissioners. I haven't really dealt with the city council that much, and possibly some judges to come on. If you had a crystal ball and you could do something to fix the city of Memphis, real quick, what would you do?
I would incorporate something to engage the youth, to get them off of the streets, and keep them busy, whether it be academic related, sports related, community service related. They have to be busy. Our children are dying on these streets. Like you said, you had kids at the library that they get shot.
Right.
So we have to do something to engage our youth. And if I had a crystal ball, it would just be a very, a diverse plan of multiple things to pique their interest and get them involved. so that they just won't be out wandering.
Right. Hey, and once again, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're busy. You're the president, by God. You're the president of the Memphis Police Association. But you took time out to come and be on our little show, and we are so humble. But we do get a lot of people watching, so I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your hard work and efforts in the community of the city of Memphis and your dedication to the Memphis Police Department. And if it's anything that I can do to help out, you know I'm just a phone call away. To the citizens of the city of Memphis, I want to say thank you for tuning in to Memphis 360, the television show that goes from the boardroom to the streets. How can you fix it on the top if you don't know what's going on the bottom? Until next week, same time, same location, be blessed, be strong, be encouraged, and we'll see you next week.
It's Memphis 360.